Good morning over there.
Then,
You do? Yeah, how's it going? Great
uh,
to see you.
good to see you too. I'm doing good.
Let
Hope
me
you're
see if I can.
well. Okay.
Always, I'm always complaining about my light. It's
Oh,
not really, it's not really. How do you
never
say?
mind.
Yeah, yeah, but it's okay, it's
Okay.
okay. So I know. It's a kind of a thing that annoys me, but I shouldn't pay attention to it
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, yeah. Don't think too much.
No, but
Just be relaxed. Yeah,
yeah, I'm like the moon, The moon, what we usually see from the moon is only one side, the
yeah,
bright side of the moon. That's the one we see. There's another side
yeah.
over here that we, over here, we don't see
Yeah.
that. We never see that side of the moon. So that's how I feel, This side is bright or clear,
Yeah.
and this side. Oh my God,
It's okay. I don't care.
what are you doing? How's it going?
Yeah, everything is going well. These days I'm quite busy because I'm following a course, writing course, just to
Oh,
improve my
okay.
writing, writing skills because it's a free course on Coursera. You know Coursera? Do you know Coursera
Yeah,
website?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a website. Yeah, I have heard
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. I chose a course. It's a free course, but if I want to have a certificate, I have to pay for it. So I chose not to have a certificate, but to do the course. So
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
following course these days. So it quite
Oh,
taking my time.
yeah. Is it really demanding in terms of time and
Yeah,
uh, complexity? I mean, not complicated. Complexity. Is it complex, demanding? It takes you deep into using the language while writing. Is that what it is? I mean, you really want to
yeah,
get
yeah.
uh,
It's about writing.
writing. Yeah.
How to write for young adults and something like that. So it's all about writing. What should we do? What should writers do? So
Yeah,
many
and
things that we
yeah,
learn.
that's a great ability to acquire, especially if you are talking about a second language, which is not your native language. That's a great tool to develop, because
Yeah,
that way you manage the language in a deeper way.
yeah,
Even think that you are writing, you are not speaking it, but by writing, well, you're going to improve your speaking, you're
yeah,
going to use all of words and yeah, all of your
yeah.
you know your
So,
your strength right here. Yeah.
yeah. So, Jose, do you mind to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Oh, sure.
They don't know
Well,
you. Maybe perhaps
I
some of
know, I
them
know.
know, but some of
Yeah.
them don't know.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay, let me just clear up my throat. Okay. My name is Jose. For those of you that maybe don't know me, it's a long name, like any or many Spanish names that are so long. First name, second name, and two last names. So Jose Abelardo, but you can call me just Jose for the sake of keeping it simple. Yeah, Jose. And it's kind of funny because people really get mixed up when they try to pronounce my name. They go for Josie or
Yeah, yeah, it's
Hose, and
because first
it's
letter.
okay. No, I don't care. I don't care. It's okay. So anyway, I'm from Venezuela in South America, which is another tropical country.
Yeah,
But I've been living here in Mexico since 2010. So it
yeah.
means that I've been living here for almost 13 years. Oh my God.
Mm,
Uh, I think in September is going to be 13 years since I left my home country. Yeah, I came here to Mexico because of a work project. My company
mm,
brought me here. But
mm.
since things are kind of not very good in Venezuela, we decided to stay here, and here we are. You know, it's like we have grown roots here a little bit in
Yeah.
Mexico.
Mm.
Yeah, because it's not only me and my wife, or my wife and I. It's also my son, who is 27. He came here when he was around 14. I have another son in another city called Monterrey, and my oldest daughter is also living here. Yeah, and I'm a geologist engineer,
Mm.
and most of my career that I had, or that I've been having, I would say had, because I'm
Yeah.
sort of retired now,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So most of my career, practically all of it, in terms of my profession, was working for the oil company. You know, I used to work for the Venezuelan oil company, and then here in Mexico, I used to work as a consultant, also as a consulting geologist for the Mexican oil company. So yeah, I have two daughters,
Mm.
two sons, and I'm 66 years old right now,
Yeah.
almost 67. Oh my God, yeah. My birthday is on
Nice.
December, yeah, December the 30th.
Mm.
So, oh my God, I'm gonna turn 67 shortly. But it's okay. I would say that I know age
Nice.
is a
Yeah.
number. It's a number. We gotta keep
You're
on going.
already so young in your
Yeah,
heart, you know.
that's me pretty much. You know,
Yeah.
since we're gonna get into my English journey ahead, I will tell you a lot of details of what I've been doing and my background
Mm.
in relation to my English journey. But that's pretty much myself, you know. And yeah, here I am. I'm a very I don't know, a humble person. If I want to if you want me to describe who I am, I'm very humble. I like to stay like that. I am very open-minded.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you later on why I think I grew up being like I am right now, very open-minded, easygoing person, and things like that, you know. And I like people. I like to connect with people. And nowadays, more than ever before, maybe because I need friends, I like to really connect and communicate with people, like we are doing now. And through English, by the way, has been the greatest tool for me to get to know people and connect and communicate and interact. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
that's
great.
pretty much it.
And thank you for sharing those things. And um, since you told that you're from your mother country is Venezuela, but you live in
Venezuela.
Mexico now. So I just want to know about those two countries because I was thinking that I should ask about Mexico
I,
because you're living there, you live in Mexico, but since you told that uh, you originally from Venezuela, so let's talk
yeah,
about it briefly. Just
yeah,
tell me about
yeah.
about both countries and also about the
Okay,
culture and also the relation between English language and your culture.
right. You know, both of them. Yeah. You you wouldn't get me into a dilemma. You know
Yeah,
what a dilemma is? When you try to decide what to do or what to think about or what steps to make, you know, in
yeah,
terms of which country to talk about. Because I know Mexico fairly well, and
yeah,
and their
mm,
background.
yeah,
Because when you go to a foreign country, things to know who they are and why they act like the way they act and behave the way they behave and the way they think and their idiosyncrasy, the
yeah,
idiosyncrasy of the people. You have to really go and get to know the background of things, usually. So I know pretty much. But Venezuela, that we have our similarities and we
yeah,
have our differences. Even though we are countries that were conquered by the Spanish,
mm,
we were conquered, we were colonized by the
yeah,
Spanish people, the Spanish colonizers. I think that's the way back in the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
1500s.
yeah,
And we are if you we speak the same language, Spanish, with our differences, and it's just the same Spanish with different accents,
Accent,
different
yeah, dialect.
the same way the English from the US and the English
Yeah,
from Great
Canada.
Britain,
Yeah,
the same
British.
thing is Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, we speak the same language. We are Catholic. Both of us are profoundly Catholic. You know that word profoundly Catholic? I mean, we deeply profess the
Yeah.
Catholic religion here in
Yeah.
Mexico, in Venezuela. Yeah, those are the things more or less are the same. We are both tropical countries. Well, Venezuela is much more tropical because it is surrounded by the Caribbean Sea, which is tropical weather. Mexico has more diverse climates a little bit, Anyway, and we are pretty much alike. We are Latin countries, but we also have our differences. Venezuela, we are is characterized by people that are very, very warm. The way people behave, we are very open-minded, very warm, very spontaneous people, always energetic,
Yeah.
always willing to talk to you. Even if I just met you, I want to talk to you, and I want to invite you to my house, even if I just met you 5 minutes ago. That's the way we are in Venezuela, Culturally, we have our traditions. Uh, we have our own cuisine or gastronomy in Venezuela. The particular things that we eat, I don't want to get into those details, but it's really diverse, the country. Also, we have different accents in terms of Spanish, talking about Venezuela. And we have all sort of climates there too, Tropical, we have on beach, we have mountains, we have desert, we have jungle, and things like that. In terms of the people, we are very warm, very open, and things like that. And we have had a great relationship with the English language, even though we don't speak English. In terms of if you don't go to Venezuela, and you will find people that would be able to speak English anywhere in the streets, or on the streets. In this case, we don't, but we have a great closeness with the English language because of two things. First of all, there were a lot of American companies in Venezuela because of the oil industry, and people left us, their
cultural stuff.
and their culture and many words we use. And then also because Venezuela is a very open country. It still is to the whole world. We were so universal in terms of a country. We love to keep updated with things that are happening around the planet. We are always well informed and things like that. So in that regard, we have a lot of influence from the United States also. Being also we are not near the United States, but we have been very close. So English is something that people don't speak the language, but it's always right there, in the back of
so close.
So close, yeah. Now, if you want me to talk a little bit about Mexico, Mexico is a very rich country in terms of cultural background, because and they have a lot of roots as a society, a lot of roots from their background, their indigenous background.
Yeah, I saw some.
There were, there were great civilization here in ancient times, that developed their culture, their civilization here in Mexico. In the south part of Mexico, we used to have the Mayas. The Mayas culture the Mayas. I don't know if you have, and in the center north of the country, there were the great Aztecs, the Aztecs civilizations. Maybe you haven't heard of them, but those
Yeah,
were
yeah.
great, magnificent civilizations, that used to live here in Mexico, and they left many many things. We have a lot of pyramids here and ancient, huge
Yeah.
cities from the Mayas. So that's something that I'm still some of those languages are spoken here in Mexico. So Mexico speaks Spanish because of the Spanish people that conquer Mexico,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of Indians, indigenous dialects here in Mexico. So
Red
Mexico
Indians,
cultural,
you mean?
yeah, coming from the Indians, yeah, and there are still spoken, some of them, and they want to maintain those languages because that's part of their I think you call it their heritage.
Heritage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
heritage. Yeah, yeah. So Mexico is a very
Like
rich
World
cultural.
Heritage.
Yeah, yeah. So and from there comes the Mexican cuisine.
Mm.
There are so many Indians
Yeah.
meat plates that were prepared by the Indians, and they're still done and prepared that way. That's why the Mexican cuisine, the
Yeah.
Mexican gastronomy, is one of the very well
Very
known,
famous.
very famous around the world.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it's, I think UNESCO, that organization from the United Nations is called
Mm.
UNESCO,
UNESCO.
consider the Mexican cuisine something like, there's a word for it, untangible heritage of the world,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
Mm.
Untangible,
Mm.
which is untangible because I don't know, something like that. Anyway, Mexico is a country, but despite the fact that we
What is the
are
famous cuisine? I think
famous cuisine,
I
yeah.
forgot. Sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I mean,
You
what
were,
is the famous cuisine in Mexico?
oh, of course, of course.
I have heard, but I forgot now.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that is well known all around the world: the
Well, yeah.
Mexican
Tacos.
tacos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
If we
Tacos.
talk about tacos, tacos could be. There are a wide range of tacos and preparation and feelings for the tacos. Tacos is something that is so flexible, it's so versatile or versatile. If you want to prepare tacos, you can do it your own way, and put ingredients of all kind.
What
But
a
but
research.
of course,
Yeah.
one of the things that distinguish the Mexican cuisine from other is that it is very spicy.
Oh, wow. I'm trying to
Very,
eat
very,
spicy food.
very, very, very spicy.
Yeah.
I think more spicy than Indian or maybe your own cuisine.
Mm.
And Mexican cannot live without having something spicy and hot when
Yeah,
they eat.
same here.
Yeah, yeah. Even for breakfast, it could be breakfast, lunch, dinner. You need to have some spicy sauce or
Mm.
anything like that. So that's why the Mexican culture, they eat a lot of chile. You know what? Have you ever heard chile? Chile,
No.
those uh, spicy, very hot peppers.
Mm-hmm.
Peppers. Oh, they have dozens of species of peppers here. It's
Mm.
very spicy to tremendously spicy.
Yeah.
Hot, very hot
Hot.
chili
Yeah.
here. Yeah, so that's one thing that for sure, when you come to Mexico, you have to be aware that you are gonna eat a lot of spicy food here. Not only spicy, but also greasy. Yeah. So
Mm.
Mexico is really great. And one thing I want to tell you, the border of Mexico, the northern border of Mexico is with the United States, and as you know, I mean, the borderline of Mexico as a country, the Mexican territory is with the U.S., with the United States. So they are neighbors.
Yeah.
Mexico and the United States are neighbor country.
Yeah.
You know, only there is a big river called the Rio Grande or the Great River divides both countries. And yeah, let me tell you one thing. There is a lot of influence coming from the United States along the border line of Mexico, where English is used, and Spanish is also widely used over the side of the United States. Along that border,
Yeah.
both languages are widely used. And also, you find people that have mixed both languages, and they speak what is called Spanglish
Yeah.
up there.
Spanglish.
Yeah, Spanglish.
Yeah, I
But
understand. Yeah.
but you know what? Many people think that because I live here in Mexico, everyone, and I could just go out there in the streets and anyone will speak English. And that's not the way it is at all.
Yeah.
You know, because people know that Mexico is a neighbor country with the US, a neighboring country in this case. And that's not the case. Only along the border, you find people who would speak English. But the rest of the country, people don't speak English, you know, at all. And they kind of avoid a little bit speaking in English because they are very proud of the Spanish language, you know, here in Mexico. So they don't like for you to talk to them in English because for some reason, you know, they're very proud and they want to really, they're very rooted to their traditions and to their
Culture. Yeah.
things, you know? Yeah, cultural things here in Mexico. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way.
Exactly. And so interesting. And thank you so much for sharing those interesting facts about Mexico. And recently I watched a movie about Mexico. I just forgot the name, but I came across some interesting facts as you mentioned, about Mexico, something like indigenous uh, traditions and the culture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they are like wear some beautiful dresses and also paint their face, something like that. I saw those
Yeah, right.
facts, those
It
things.
is, it is, it is really, really rich, you know,
Mm,
because every region has their own traditions, their own cuisine, their own uh, dances, their
yeah.
own rituals, you know, when they have sort of feast, you know, sometimes of the year they have their feast or their celebration. You know what a feast is? It's like a big party, a celebration when they celebrate with their traditions and dances and cuisine and all the things have to do things that have to do with gastronomy, with the same cuisine, and it's really rich. You will change, you will see different things when you go from one region to another, you know, and that's what makes the Mexican country very, very rich and diverse with the
Yeah.
variety of customs and traditions and cultural things, you know, that they really still profess and are very attached to, you know, to their traditions. Yeah, really,
Yeah.
really nice.
So
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
So,
sure.
yeah, so Jose, let's move your English journey. The purpose of this interview, main purpose of this interview is to share your English journey and your experiences about learning English. So, tell me about your English journey. How did you start, and what is the reason why did you want to learn English? So, something, I
Yeah,
just
yeah. Let
I
me,
just wanna.
yeah. Let me just start from the very beginning of my journey, and I would call it my first stage. Listen to my first stage. You
Hmm.
know, when I went to high school, when I went to when I went to secondary and high school, well, in Venezuela, it is called secondary school, you know, and you go for 5 years. Maybe you might call it like your first cycle, 3 years of first cycle of secondary school, and then 2 more years what's called like high school, you know, in
High
some other
school.
countries. In the
Yeah.
US, they call it junior high, and high school. For example, the US system. But anyway, when I went to secondary school or high school, I was so bad in English, you know. Let me tell you one thing. I had good grades, but my worst and lowest grade was in English.
Yeah.
Really.
Understand.
So when I graduated from high school, you know what I did? I applied to get a scholarship to study abroad, you know, to study abroad. And the country that I chose was the US. So
Wow,
because
yeah.
of my grades, I
English.
was able to get scholarship, you know, because of my grades, but
Hmm.
not in English grade. My grades in other matters,
Other languages. Oh, yeah. Other subjects.
yeah,
You mean
subjects or
subjects?
matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because my good grades, I got that scholarship to study geology. And I choose, in this case, in that case, I chose, yeah, the past tense, the US. So I went to the US to study. I went to the university in the US. I went to college in the US. You know, they call it college. They don't say
Yeah.
university. I went to college in the US where I graduated as a geologist, engineer. So they sent me my first years in the US. You know when it was? It was back in listen to me, it was back in 1975 when I went to the US. 1975. So you are talking about 60 years ago, almost, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the US. My first year in the US, I went to it was not only me, it's like maybe 20 more like me, Venezuelans. So we were sent to an English academy in the US, back up north in Massachusetts, you know. So we went there for 1 year, for a whole year to learn English and also to be able to pass the test. In that case was the TOEFL test. The TOEFL test. So I went to college there. After that, I moved to the south part of the US and I went to college there where I graduated as a geologist. So I lived in the United States for 5 years, you know. So that was my first encounter really learning the language up there in the US. So let me tell you one thing. The first 2 years, even having gone to an academy and then I was still taking classes at my university. I remember the first 2 years living there. They were like the years of a transition, you know, my mindset, the way I was using the language. I remember that during the third year being there, that's when I felt like, oh my God, it's like everything, all my windows and my doors started to really open to the language. And I started using it in a much better way. And it's like, of course, I was right there, surrounded by English all around me, 360 degrees, surrounded by the language. You must say I was really immersed in the language, of course, you know, right there in the US. But you know what happened? After I graduated, I went back home. I went back to Venezuela at the end of 1980, and I started working there in my country. Of course, I would be using Spanish again as my mother tongue, what you know what it is, and things like that. So I stopped using the English language at a point where I wouldn't use it at all. The English language. I wouldn't speak English at all, you know. I didn't have anybody to speak English with. Maybe I would do some reading and some listening, you know, sporadically,
Yeah.
sporadically, you know, every now and then. But you know what? After 38 years, after 38 years, it was back in 2018. Back in 2018,
Yeah.
listen to me, back in 2018, after 38 years that I went back home back in 1980. So after 38 years, you know, all of a sudden I realized that I had lost my English, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
because I wasn't using it. I
Using, yeah.
lost it. I said, "Oh my God, I'm losing my English. I'm losing my
Mm.
English." You know. So what happened was that I started this second stage of my English journey. Started back in 2018, and practically, you know what, Nayana,
Yeah.
from scratch. I didn't have any confidence. I didn't have any fluency at all. I had
Yeah.
lost my vocabulary.
Mm.
Our tools or whatever. So I said, oh my God, I gotta do something. That's when I realized, you
Mm.
know, whatever knowledge you have, whatever ability you have,
Yeah. We have to use.
whatever thing you do, you have to use it either, or you are gonna lose it. So I
Exactly.
practically, Nayana, lost my English. So that's when I started back in 2018, and I hope we have time. I want to have time to tell you more things about what I did. And I said to myself, "Oh my God, I'm so ashamed, you know, you know, shame on me." I said, "How come you have lost your English? You were so proud of it before. You know, you gotta do something." That's when I started my second stage of my journey that you see now back in 2018, but practically like from the very beginning, you know, started learning. But one thing that remained with me, only one thing, was my grammar background was good. Or fairly good. It has been always good, solid, robust. Those were my foundations, you know,
Yeah.
that were still there, still there. But if you talk about listening abilities, speaking, no way, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I decided to start again, and here I am. You know, after 5 long years being here, consistent, perseverant, and really more than ever before, getting so passionate about it. So that's what has taken me from practically not being able to say a word to start speaking again. You know, I regained my confidence. I regained it, you know, a little bit, and my fluency. So it's been hard work, a lot
Yeah.
of effort, with a
I
lot
think.
of
Yeah.
passion and dedication. Yeah,
I think this time is not enough to share all of things, about your experiences and
I
about your
know,
English journey. Today is
I know,
not enough, but we can
I
do
know.
another interview, another
Let's
task like
let's
this
let's
some
do it,
other
please.
day.
Let's do it
Yeah.
because I wanna share a lot with you, not only of my background in general, you know, from what I just told you about my first stage and
Hmm.
my second stage, is what I've been doing right here through this second stage that I call,
Yeah.
where that has really taken me to where I am right now, what I've been doing, and what I have learned. I have learned a lot, but not only English methods or approaches, you know, and because I have done it, I have taken advantage, you know, of a little bit more of
Mm.
maturity, not only personally, but also what to do with the language. Because I'm telling you something, Nayana, all of this that I've been doing until this point has all of these, singular, that I've been doing through my journey up to here has been by myself, by my own, self-taught. You know what I mean?
Yeah, self-taught.
Of course, taking advantage of
Just
my previous
only by your
experience,
own.
only by my own, by
Yeah.
myself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I understand, and I'm doing the same now. It's been year and half, you know. Uh, it's been a year and half since I started this English journey, and I've been learning English all by myself, like you do. So we can be an inspiration for other learners. That's why we are doing this.
that is true. We gotta broadcast that fact. The word
Yeah.
broadcast that fact to
Yeah,
inspire
share your
others.
advice, piece of
Yeah,
advice for others.
yeah,
Take
right.
this time.
But taking into account from where we started and what we've been using and how we've been doing it, because we haven't had that guy. Yeah, maybe some guidance, some orientation from others,
Yeah.
but by doing it ourselves, and it's just a way. I don't know how much time we got left. It's just a way for you and
It's
I, for
3
example,
minutes left.
to
We have three
yeah, yeah,
minutes.
okay, to keep, we not only we learn something new every day, because this is a journey that never ends, and
Yeah.
this this is a part of life. In life, you learn something new every day, and with English, you learn something new every day. That's a fact, and that's the greatness of it. That juice that you have right there. That's today you're gonna learn something new, and tomorrow something else new. And but the thing is that we have also learned what to do or what not to do
Mm.
in order to achieve our objectives, our goals. We keep learning manners, methods, ways, approaches,
Yeah.
because like you, for example, and me, we learn and we are much more mature in terms of what to take advantage for our own sake and our own advantage with what we're doing, in learning the language. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Uh, I feel like this time is not enough because your
I know.
listening to you is so interesting, and everything that you talked about, I feel like it's so important to know.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure to share it, to share my experiences with you and with anyone else. I
Yeah,
think is I think it's gonna be useful for someone.
yeah,
If I can, if you and I can touch one person, that's success. In terms of, oh my God, if they do it, if they have gotten to this point, you and I, to this level, I can do it too. I can do it
yeah,
too. They're not from another planet. They're just like I
yeah,
am. So if they did it, if they have been making it, I can do it too. And
yeah,
what have they done? I want to
yeah,
listen to what they done. Yeah. So I was so afraid that it wasn't going to be enough time, Nayana. If
yeah,
you don't mind, let's do a second round. Whenever
yeah,
you like. I'm gonna be here for you because I
yeah,
really want to share many things with you and with
yeah,
others through your channel. So don't ever hesitate to say, "Hey, Jose, let's go for the second round." Yeah, I was so afraid
yeah,
that time was not going to be enough.
yeah, I know,
To
yeah, yeah, let's
because I
open
know
again.
myself, Diana. Do it. Please
Yeah.
do it.
So Jose, we were talking about the piece of advice that you
Yeah.
can give for other English learners
Okay.
to inspire
Okay.
them.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I got to start from this point. All of us right now, we are living in an era.
Yeah,
The times we are living in right now, is the very best moment or cycle or period, you know, of humanity.
Yeah.
Is to do something like this, which has to do with learn a language, any language,
Mm.
you know, because of all the resources that we have in our hands nowadays. It is just marvelous. It is fantastic. Many things, I mean, huge amount of things to take advantage of if we
Yeah.
want to learn a language
Mm.
because of the era of technology
It's
and
so developed.
devices,
Yeah.
social media, you name it, where you find tons of content here on the internet. I mean, this is just fabulous. You know, it is even breathtaking. You know, say, oh my God,
Yeah.
like like it happened to me back in 2018.
Mm.
Back in 2018, when I decided to do something, say, oh my God, let me just go, you know how I went. Oh, let me just go ahead what I can find here on the internet to start working on my English again and try to see if I can recover it. Remember, I told you that I decided to regain my English, to get it back, to start working on, on my confidence and my fluency, and like almost from scratch, almost. The only thing I told you before was that I knew that my grammar foundations were always good,
Mm.
solid and robust, and I knew that, but that was the only thing. And yeah, we have this amazing uh, amount of resources for us to start doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, with our learning of any language. So we find tons of information, content, resources, whatever you name it. It's always here. It's right here, right there on the internet. So what you gotta do, of course, is depending on your uh, stage. If you are a beginner,
Mm.
well, I always say that if you are a beginner or you are right there, like I like I don't know, maybe close to being intermediate, you need some guidance, some orientation from someone.
Yeah.
It could coach or somebody like you or me or to know what to do, which way to take,
Mm.
because it was for me overwhelming, Nayana, all
Yeah.
that amount of content that I found here. So, oh my God, I was in awe, oh my God, I didn't know there was so much content here on the internet. English coaches from everywhere, natives, some non-natives, resources, YouTube videos, and what you know. So what you need from the beginning is having an idea which way to take, what to do, not to waste time or not to be really drowning in so much material and content, and you don't know what to do. You go like, oh my God, because you need to stop at some point, jumping from one thing to another, from one coach to other. You need to really organize your
Yeah.
thoughts, mindset, and what you are going to do. So that's one vital step that you gotta make from the beginning. You need to have some guidance, follow somebody,
Mm.
take a course. If
Yeah.
you are a beginner, intermediate, you need to really have some formal, even
Mm.
orientation, you
Yeah.
know, like taking a course with somebody who
Mm.
would just show you the way, show you the path during those moments where you really need to understand
Mm.
all the things you need to do, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like doing things randomly, and that's going to delay your progress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Because
understand.
yeah, there's a point where you really need to do and work on all of your pillars, you know. You need to know some like we were mentioned the other day, some grammar. You need to do some reading. You need to do
Listening.
some writing. You need to start listening and probably be ready to do some speaking, you
Speaking.
know, maybe in a very precarious way where you are not going to be able to articulate your grammar structure very well, but you need to do it. If you could do it, you can just go ahead and do it. But you got to take in, that's what people don't understand, many learners. You need, I mean, from the beginning or a stage where they are going to progress like it is, Nayana, little by little, step by step. And that's the way it is. There's no magic formula, you know. You're not going to be able to speak the language overnight,
Yeah. Yeah.
tomorrow, or like they tell you in those advertisements, you know, you are
Yes.
going to be able to speak English in 3 months.
Yeah.
I
There's
guarantee.
no such miracle.
No, it is a process. And
Exactly.
it is like it is, you know. But as long as you do the things, you are gonna make those little steps, you know. There
Gotta
you're gonna
be
go.
patient.
Yeah, but you gotta do your work. You gotta do your task. You gotta work on your grammar a little bit. Do some grammar reading, some listening, and repeat, and this and that. Yeah. And if you are really lost and you are really stuck, like you have the water is up to here, up to above your nose, and you say, oh, I got to really get out of this deep water. Well, get some guidance, some orientation from, take a course, follow a coach, or take a formal course, you know, for you to really organize your thoughts and see when you can do it on your own after you get to a level. Yeah, because it's a complex process, and you
Yeah.
know that
Exactly.
all those uh, that orbit where you're gonna be kind of dizzy and lost because you're gonna be overwhelmed. That
Yeah.
I just want to speak, but I don't find my ways. Hey. You have to really organize your process and take it easy, but you have to do your task. And
Yeah.
one thing, you know, even if you are a beginner, whatever stage you are in, you have to remain in contact with the language on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
even
exactly
crucial.
true. Yeah.
That's because beginners, for example, or intermediate, when they go for formal courses, you know what they do usually, and you know what they are. There is so much delay in their process because they don't realize that you have to be like that, in contact with the language, and
Yeah.
and look, I'm being dramatic. Look at my face. Being in contact with the language on a daily basis is, you
Yeah.
know, for you,
Crucial.
for you, yeah, for you to really make those steps, but in a way where they're gonna be, you're gonna feel that synchronization with whatever you learn. Because you know what happens when you take a course, or many beginners and intermediate, they attend classes twice a week or 3 times a week or like that. And the other days, they don't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no way you
Yeah.
are going to
They don't
progress
keep
at the pace.
consistency.
Yeah, no, not consistency. And that consistency involves be right there every day, doing some reading, some writing, some listening, right there for
Couldn't
30
agree
minutes, for
more. Yeah.
repeat, and tomorrow you're gonna repeat the same. Oh my God, and say, now I understand, whatever. But how can you progress if you take a course, a formal course, and you go like, oh yeah, I go Wednesdays and Saturdays for 3 hours. Yeah. You think that 3 hours on Saturdays, pushing English through your brain is gonna be enough. And then what you learn that Saturday, when it comes to Monday, next month, the Monday after, or you are gonna forget it. It's like
Yeah.
when you tend to learn 10 words daily, every day. You say, I'm gonna learn 10 new words every day, from Monday through Friday. You say, well, Friday, I'm sure I have learned 50 new words. And that doesn't work that way. Because the
Yeah.
words that you try to learn and memorize on Monday, when it comes to Friday, how many of those words that you learn on Monday, past Monday, you're gonna remember if you didn't use them, you know.
Exactly.
I
That's,
mean, sound
yeah.
like dramatic, but it's like making people internalize, for them to internalize that it requires effort, passion, dedication.
Yeah.
Be there and work every day a little bit with the language you are trying to learn. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
something, something, polish. I don't know, master something.
Yeah.
Other,
Exactly. Exactly. We really need to be patient with ourselves, and also we have to celebrate our little wins, small wins.
of course, yeah, celebrate. And if you are surrounded by people that are encouraging you,
Mm.
supporting you, that's even. But
It
you
really
have to do
affects.
your task. Yeah,
Exactly.
everyone has to do their task, make that effort, dedication, and remain in contact with the language like that on a daily basis, and that's the way. Even if you think that you have the best teacher in the world right there, that you are gonna see maybe once, twice, or 3 times a week, that's
Yeah.
not enough. That's not enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you really want to fear like those steps, you are always making a new step, improving your abilities and finding and recognizing your progress. Say, oh my God, yeah, there's no way. You are
Yeah.
always going to be like in a vicious circle right there, no progress or very little progress or slow progress. Yeah, and people, that's the kind of complaint that you listen to coming from people. Oh, I've been doing this for years, but how have you been doing it? What have you been doing? How? You know, oh, well, yeah, it's been a journey, 10 years, but yeah, and that's a pity.
So, yeah,
That's a
there's
pity.
so many things that I really need to pick your brain, but I really have to end our conversation today. So
I know.
to wrap up, to wrap up
I,
our conversation, please,
I,
please share something from your heart, a feedback for me.
the feedback, okay, I don't know where to start because
Yeah,
okay, a feedback. This is so great because if I'm telling you about this activity that we are having right now,
yeah,
it is very, I hope it is very substantial for
mm,
many people. because it's not that I want to see them in my own mirror, but at least get the things for them to realize when they look at themselves in their own mirrors, say, oh my God, not only to be inspired, maybe, I hope so, but also to realize that you need that person who could give you a better or a very accurate and precise piece of advice in terms of knowing what you are doing now and what you gotta do from now on. If it is related to your English journey,
Yeah.
maybe you will find that light at the end of your tunnel that
Yeah.
you are seeking for. If it's gonna be taking like this, maybe people could come to me or to you. Hey, Nayana, I want to talk to you. I want to listen to some piece of advice because I really want to make progress, but I feel like I'm stuck
Yeah.
and I'm bad. I don't know what's happening to me, like people usually do, beating themselves up. So if what we don't hear is good for people to think about doing some talking to me or to you
Yeah.
and talk about their journey, oh my God, I think we have been very successful transmitting, projecting that type of idea,
Yeah.
that how you learn from other people's experiences. Yeah,
Um,
they have both of us here, your experience and mine. So I think that if we, how do you
your
say,
experience is way bigger than mine. So
yeah,
yeah.
because it's not you listening to me. Maybe you might think about, oh my God, what I just said, say, oh my God, yeah, Jose said something that is really worthy to take into account. Yeah,
Ah,
he's all
yeah, like
yeah. Say
vocabulary
that, or
repertoire.
yeah, and I would say the same thing from you. Yeah, but if others that are going to watch this video, I hope so. It's been long. If if they want to come to me or to you, I would say I'm here with my arms open for
Mm,
anyone because I know it's not only showing up in a meeting where you're gonna see what you can say or do. Is that sometimes people need that push at some point of their journey, which are
mm,
going to be very, very beneficial for them to keep on going and keep on their progress. So that's what I would say. Uh, um, and to myself, I keep working to be better, to improve. I have many things to improve, many things to take to the next level. I feel like every day I'm challenged by this journey because I want
yeah,
to be better, but I try really to enjoy this process. It's a matter of enjoyment, of this that's another thing. We are doing it with passion, but we are enjoying this process because of one thing that is maybe the best. It allows us to connect, to communicate, and interact.
with yeah, with
And
others.
that is so enriching to know that we are just human beings, no matter where you are in the planet, it doesn't matter where you are located. We are human beings. We fear, we want, we dream,
Mm,
and all of that. And that's when you realize that we are just human beings, and we do it through the English language, connecting
yeah,
through it. And that's the
ex-
beauty. That's the beauty.
that's the
It's
beauty of the
amazing.
language. Yeah,
Yeah,
this connection. That's the
connection,
this
connection.
connection.
Yeah, and getting to to know more about your way of living, your way of thinking, your a little bit about your life, your daily routine, if it is possible, the things that you I mean, yeah, related to your, listen to this word, to your quotidian life, quotidian life,
Wow. So fancy.
which is the same of your daily routine. Your daily routine, what you do every day, is related to your, to the quotidian things, or to your quotidian life that you have, the things you do every day. It starts with a Q. I like that word very much.
Wow. I still remember the vocabulary repertoire as you taught me the other day, you know. I still remember that word and I'll put it into my vocabulary. So
I spell it to you later.
yeah,
And one thing that is really hard for me when I speak is, like I said before, it's so hard for me to be concise and succinct when I speak, you know. It means to be right on target. Say, you ask me a question and I give you an answer. Oh,
yeah.
it's so hard for me. So
I
hard for
know,
me.
I know, and you have so many to
I
share.
try to be like that, but there is a way, or there is a moment where I opened and expand whatever I want to say. Maybe I say too much to say this. I
No,
use
no,
amount of
I
words.
don't think so. The only
That's the
problem is that time.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
Don't
but
think
everything,
I am. Yeah. Don't
everything,
go ahead.
yeah, everything you mentioned is so precious to me, and I really appreciate that. And you're a resource for me. You know, there are so many that we can learn from you. There are so many to learn from you. I hope to learn many things from you because you are so matured. Your knowledge is really, really wide, and I found it so useful for all of us to learn from you. And again, we are running out of time even in this second round. Just 10 minutes we have. That's why.
No, I know. Time flies, and you know, one thing I usually I don't complain about time, because when
Yeah,
we realize that we've been here for like for an hour and a half, speaking and stuff, you say, how can time pass, or how can time pass so fast, and we still have a lot of things to talk about. That's the beauty, you know, when it is when the preciousness of this, when you talk about things that are coming from the heart and are so substantial and stuff. You don't worry about time. You
yeah,
might, but you complain about lacking time, I know. But that's when you say, oh my God, I can sit here talking to somebody for hours, you know, and
mm,
you are not gonna feel it. So that's when a conversation is like this, for example. I
yeah.
know I have made most of the conversation. Maybe because I am being interviewed. You are the interviewer, and I am the one who's being interviewed. I know, but I also know that I talk too much.
Oh, you're so talkative. It's so great. You know, it's something that I can't do. Even I wanted to, it's so hard to do for me. You know, I get stuck and I forget things, and sometimes I lose my train of thoughts. So it's hard for me. That's why I really
You
appreciate you.
sure, you are doing an amazing job. I mean, just I want you to be so proud of yourself.
Yeah, I
It is
know.
because you don't see yourself, but I gotta tell you that if I remember, I told you that the other
Yeah,
day,
yeah, I remember.
1 year ago, and Ayana nowadays, there is a huge difference.
Yeah. Mm.
It's immense.
Yeah, I
The
think so too.
progress has been great. Your confidence is up to the sky,
Yeah,
and your frequency is like a rocket to the moon, in a
yeah.
way. So it not is I mean your progress has been uh that's another fancy word, has been stratospheric.
Wow.
Stratospheric. It means that it has reached a very high level, you know, because the stratosphere,
Mm,
when you look at the our uh, atmosphere,
mm,
it is divided in some layers, lithosphere, stratosphere, whatever, and the stratosphere is one that is very, very high in the sky, I don't know if you remember that from science in school, that our atmosphere is divided in some layers, whatever. There is a layer up there which is called the stratosphere. So that's a figure. That's how you figuratively use that term. When I say
mm.
that your level of your fluency has reached stratospheric, level. It's very high
Yeah.
in your case. In your case.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting me know this.
I'm
A
gonna write
lot.
it down later.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. And I really appreciate you. And it's an honor to have you here and to share your story of your English journey. And I find it's so useful for other learners as well. So I hope some others get some help watching this video and listening to your story. And there are so many things that we can learn from you, like your fancy vocabulary. So it's really, really big. So yeah.
One day, I'm gonna tell you one of the things that I take advantage of in terms of vocabulary, what I do, and how I approach it, and the things I do. And I would say that one of the things I do the most is go for synonyms always,
Mm, yeah,
and that's a good manner to uh, work on your vocabulary.
yeah.
It really works. Not all the
Mm,
time. Yeah, it would work all the time. But what I do is any word that I try to learn, that those that drive me crazy because I don't remember and I keep seeing, I go, oh my God, that word again. For example, there is a word that we used to play tricks to me for a long time, which is the word hinder, for example. That's just an example. Hinder,
mm,
hinder, hinder. Say, oh my God, what's the meaning of that word? I keep seeing that word every time, and every time I see that word, I have to look it up. Hinder. So one day I say, what's a synonym for hinder? And there is a word that is impede. Impede, hinder. Hinder is when you are uh, when something is difficult for you to achieve, and you feel that there are things that are holding you back, things
yeah.
that are hindering you. And there is another word which is impede. Impede. And because impede is similar in Spanish to me,
Mm,
impedir, impedir, which is the same. When something's holding you back
mm,
physically or mentally, that you're not able to do something, something that hinders you. You know the
mm,
word hinder? You know the meaning of hinder?
yeah.
Okay, don't worry. So the thing is that okay, now I know. When every time I see the word hinder, I switch to the word impede as a synonym. And I
Mm,
know what's it's being talking about in, like, for example, or it could be somebody talking about something, or maybe when I see it written. And yeah, so synonyms is a great manner to do or use that tool to improve your vocabulary, uh, um, you know, tool or archive. Yeah, work on synonyms. So every time you know you have to look for a single word,
Yeah.
obtain the meaning of it. But then for synonyms, because if there are 2 or 3 synonyms, there is a chance that you are going to remember one of them.
One of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes do it, like not always like you mentioned, but sometimes when I come across some specific word, fancy word, I check all the synonyms and just to just to get to know the word, to understand the word, what it means. So, but I don't follow all the synonyms as you mentioned. So I
Yeah.
think it's a good method.
But before we go, you are doing something amazing. You know that you are using your vocabulary the best way possible.
Mm,
But you are doing something amazing that you don't feel stuck, at all. You don't feel like you are worried about what you're gonna say and the way you're gonna say it, the way you're gonna convey your message. Because I'm sure you in your mind you learn something. Just try to use simple words, those words that you frequently use to explain, to convey your message. Don't
yeah.
worry about, oh my God. Just go ahead and try to be clear using what you know that you have right there with you in your hands. Then, little, little by
One
little
minute.
step, little by little, step by step, you are gonna enrich and enlarge, broaden, widen your vocabulary.
Yeah.
Because it is something that goes like that. It's something that it's an everyday work, as long as you do and use those words in context. Well, my friend, thank
Thank
you
you
so.
so much, Jose.
I appreciate it so
I'm
much. And
honored.
that you can count on me. I'll be always here for you, Nayana. So don't hesitate. Reach out to me and we'll get together for anything you want. Converse or whatever.